Hello, so today I'm going to do my second guide. Sage on Icebox is the one that was most requested. I'm going to keep things very basic, just things that I do. I'm not going to go through anything that I don't do. Obviously everyone knows this wall. Basic Sage wall, start of the round. If, you know, whether you do that at the start of the game, just to make them realise that the wall is there, they can't just come through. Other walls that I like to do, so let's say your team is being pushed B. Maybe this happens quite often. Funnel the enemies around this way, or force them to break the wall, slow them down, anything like that. Same as if you were here early enough, you could simply, you know, just do this. To force anyone in one direction, or to save time where they have to break the wall, is, in my opinion, beneficial. You know, just to slow the enemy down, obviously, for rotations is important. There's another wall that you could use, perhaps, if you know the team isn't coming mid that often. It's very dangerous. Start of the round, like this. Now, you obviously have to be careful up here. You have to be careful of a jet dashing tube. Now, I do this very rarely. Depends of how the game's been going. It obviously takes mid out at the same time as also stopping the tube. Obviously, listening for jet would be a key thing. There's another wall that you can do at the start of the round, which if you want to be aggressive, simply this, and you could push, your teammates can come with you. On the plus side as well, if the enemies come around on the ground this way, if you die, they can only go this way. Now, it's not the biggest part of the point of it, but you know, it's something. Reaction plays to if your team is saying, okay, they're coming fast A, or there's some A. Simply, you can be rotating from kitchen, bang a slow off this wall. Every little helps in these kind of scenarios. Obviously, same thing here. Just stopping the enemy. Maybe you've still got your wall. You know, anything can help in these scenarios. You don't have to use the wall at the start of the round in the tube. Obviously, you know, same thing applies over here. Coming B. Usually I can get here in time to do a slow that lands here, no problems. Have to be wary of this. Again, it's all down to communication with your team. Maybe, you know, someone's middle going, oh yeah, cool, I've got mid, don't worry. Another thing to think about if you do this wall middle, the one across here, sometimes it can be good to ask for a teammate to come cover here. Perhaps just in middle, just in case the tube dash. One of the other things you can do on defense is the old switcheroo. So if you have been walling tubes sometimes, you can do this. You know, this will catch people off guard sometimes. It's obviously something you do maybe once or twice a game. If you've been spotted, that is. You wouldn't make a habit out of it. Other than that, the defense side is very basic. It's just reactions to what's happening and listening to your team and rotating accordingly. And, you know, that's as complex as it gets. Going on to the attack side, I'm going to go through some basic things quickly of how I play. So, I don't like to carry the bomb as a Sage, but if you do, the specific things that I believe you should do is this wall, and then planting in the open somewhere so that it can be seen. I don't like the wall that everyone does here. However, if you do decide to do this wall, when you plant the bomb facing this way. If you plant it this way, it will break this wall, and you'll be vulnerable as soon as the wall breaks, obviously. If you plant it this way, the bomb releases in front of you, away from the wall. If you don't have the bomb, I like to take space myself, because I'm more of a duelist, aggressive type player. I'd be coming around this way. This requires your team to be pushing with you. You know, a Sova should be arrowing here, or just backside something. I like to do this wall personally, like this, and I like to take the space. And this is a really good spot to sit, because they usually break this piece and this piece. And this is often a bit of cover that they leave. Obviously not always, it's going to depend. Those are pretty much the only two walls I do, this one and this one. And the reason I like this one so much, you can just go up like this, really fluid, and you can just clear the site, keep hold. The reason that I don't like this is because The amount of times in ranked I've been here, they plant the bomb, or they even do it here, and they do some Viper lineups or whatever, and everyone leaves the site, everyone comes back here, and then maybe their Sage still has a wall, or everyone's over peeking and getting killed. It's a very awkward place to fight, and why would you not want to take space in a bomb site? Like, you should be stopping the enemy from retaking the site, not letting them into the site and then giving them some space. It doesn't make sense to me. And this applies to pro teams as well. I think you're all playing wrong if you leave the site. It's as simple as that. There is no way you shouldn't have the confidence in yourself to keep a hold of the site and play properly as a team. On the attack side for taking B, this site, I haven't really played the game since the site was like this. Now, this is basically as raw as it's going to get from me. I look at this site now, and my first reaction is this. This cuts off a pretty important way for them to retake the site, sort of forces them to this area. Obviously, they can break the wall, but they're not going to break all 4 pieces, which means they have a smaller gap to come through. In terms of what else you can do, there's nothing stopping you from doing the normal wall here. You know, like the old wall on the old Icebox. Or even this. This is nice. I don't think it has to be any more complex than that. If you were going to be a bit over the top, you know, to cut off this rotation, but I wouldn't recommend this personally. As for usage of slows with Sage on the attack side, I often see this at the start of rounds. Personally, I don't recommend anything like this, whether it land up there or down here. My explanation for this is simply because if a jet is up here or down here, she's going to take the shot, dash away. The chamber, he's going to take the shot, teleport away. It's not something that I think is a useful use of a slow. Now, for me, when I'm doing all my pushes, things like this, when I'm coming towards the site, way more beneficial. It gives me the chance to get this wall down. It gives me the chance to move around and take the site. And you don't have to use utility just because you have it, you know? Same as this. Sometimes it can even be as simple, you don't know anyone's there, but they're stood here and then they step back. You're like, okay, you know there's one there. Simple as that. Doesn't have to be complex. Don't waste your utility just because you have it. And, you know, don't just do this stuff because someone, you know, you've copied someone or you've seen it somewhere. Like, it's nothing. This is nothing. Same thing applies at B in terms of slows. You know, potentially there could be people here. So things like this to stop people peeking. Other than that, I would focus on getting the wall down first and using the slows in the after plants. So let's say you're planting the bomb here or here. You know, just start using the utility to stop them getting to you. But I mean, it's very basic. No complex lineups. Just use your utility. Use your utility intelligently instead of wasting it. Is the most important thing to remember. And you know, a lot of teams in Valorant or players, they suffer from analysis paralysis, where they just try and make everything too complex, and it simply just doesn't have to be. I hope this video is helpful. Been quite difficult to record it because with it being a Sage, it's just, there isn't that much stuff, in my opinion, of what I would do. Like, to me, it's just a duelist with a few little cool gimmicks. That's about it. Anyway, I hope it's helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.